Okay, you got back some papers. Let's look at this real quick. Pythagorean theorem. Okay, guys, remember I told you how I was going to be picky about how you wrote this down. And you've got to remember, I'm grading 100 and something of these. And so I don't want to look all over the page for everybody's work. And I ask you to do it a certain way, and that's how I needed it done, okay? So the first thing is you got a label, 8-foot ladder, and the distance, the top of the ladder, the distance between the base and the top of the ladder is 7 feet. So that's your C. That can be A, that can be B. Or some people put B and A. It doesn't matter. That didn't matter. Okay? Some of you decided not to write this. I don't know why. 7 squared plus B squared equals 8 squared. 49 plus B squared is 64. You have to subtract 49. This is what I was looking for right here. Either A squared or B squared, depending on what you put, is 15. Take the square root. Some people didn't do the square root symbol. And so B is about 3.9. Round to the nearest 10th. Oh, you know what? I didn't count off for y'all not round to the nearest 10th. I should have. Says it right up there. I wasn't even thinking. I was just thinking I didn't remind y'all. But it says it right there in the directions. I should have counted off. Okay. Number 2. The 125-foot lighthouse cast a 140-foot shadow. Guys, some of y'all put that the shadow's up here. The shadow's not in the air. This is the shadow right here. Shadow's on the ground. Well, that's the water. Okay, on the surface of the water. So that could be A, that's B, that's C. So 125 squared plus 140 squared equals C squared. Y'all tell me the numbers, I've forgotten. What goes here? What now? Thank you. Plus, I'm thinking of the answer and whatnot. So 30. Okay. And then you got to get the square root. So C is about 'kay. So y'all missed it because you put 140 up there. Okay, on the back, number 3. Okay, number 3. This is 5, and the fishing line is 10. So A, B. $25 plus B squared equals 100. Subtract 25. B squared equals 75. Take the square root. B is about what? Somebody who got it right. Y'all are scaring me here. I was like, well, nobody got this one right. 8.7. Okay. Did y'all have to do both of these? Y'all did both of these? Okay. I couldn't remember. And did we do A and B or A and C? Okay. All right. Guys, to see if it makes a right triangle, A squared plus B squared is C squared. It's got to be A, B. Well, that doesn't have to be A and B, but this has to be C. And you just go substitute it in. Some people did some other stuff, and I let it slide, but you went and found C. you went and solved that to find what C would be. And that's okay, I'll let it slide. But really, all you have to do is just go substitute it in and see if it makes it true. And that's what, 365. Okay, does not equal, so no. Same thing with that. Oh, thank you. Okay, and same thing with that one. Same way. Okay, number 6, A and C. You've just got to make you a right triangle. Okay, you're going to make a right triangle. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 and 4. And just go A squared. And some of you may have put 4 for A and 5 for B, which is fine. You're going to get the same thing we get. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm doing right. A and C, yeah. Okay, square root. So C is about. And guys, look. Of all people, y'all done more of this than the others have. That doesn't equal C. Remember, when you're doing inequalities, you can't just flip and flop the numbers and the letters how you want. That's not C. The square root of 41 is not C. You got to keep that. You got to leave that alone. You're solving coming down. Solving coming down. So you can't just flip and flop your numbers and letters how you want to. Okay? Okay, are there any questions on that? Okay, now look at the quiz on polynomials. Did everybody get theirs back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. When you're adding, I don't worry about setting it up underneath, but I mean, it's perfectly fine if you do. So that's going to be what? 3x squared minus x plus 4. To me, it makes it easier. Makes it way easier. But, I mean, that's how I learned. So, that's how I, like to do it. But, you don't have to do it that way. But on this, when there's a minus sign, guys, some of you got to do it. I think next year I'm just not even going to make it up that you can, or if you want to, I'm going to make them do it. Because some of you, it's just, you're trying to change the signs in here, and then you're getting yourself totally mixed up. So this is going to be minus 4y cubed. Well, there's not another a y cubed over there. So I'm just going to go over there and put it out to the side. That's going to be plus 6x squared plus 5xy. Oh, I almost wrote it too. And then, so that's going to be negative 4y cubed plus 12xy. That cancels out, plus 5y squared. Some of you are just not good at changing the signs and then looking across the thing. You leave stuff out. Okay? Ask questions if you need help. Okay, number 3. We're doing the distributive property. Find each product. So that's going to be what? 24x cubed y plus x squared y squared minus 56x cubed. Didn't leave a big enough blank, did I? Okay, on number 4. What are we going to have to do on 4? Full. Because it's 2 binomials. So we're going to get what? 9m squared. Okay, plus 17m if you do the outer, inner. 18 minus 1 Oh, sorry. And then minus 2. Okay. On this one, you could set it up like this and do the full, or you can do the trick we learned. Who remembers who uses the trick? I just want to know. A few people? Remember? Oh, Lord. Well, if I have to tell you the trick, you don't use it. Okay. So, the trick is 4x squared. You do 4x squared. You multiply and then you double. So 20 minus 24x minus 48x. And then plus 36. But if you do it this way, you're still going to get the same answer. Oh, wait, squared, excuse me. So who does the trick again? About 6, 7 of you. Okay. All right. On this, there's a trick. Why is there a trick on this one? One's minus and one's plus. So what happens? There's no middle. No middle. Some people put no middle on this. Okay? This has what? Binomial, trinomial. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, a lot of you used the box, didn't you? Who used the box? I thought more than that did. Hmm? Well, then how did some people use it? Oh. Okay, so this is going to be what? Cubed minus 20c squared plus 25c. Negative 3c squared plus 12c minus 15. And then remember it, like diagonal. So that's going to be what? Minus 23c squared okay? On this one, what do you notice about this one? What do you notice about the bottom? Same thing, right? But one's minus, one's plus. So, 16x squared minus 49. Oh, x to the fourth, I'm sorry. You'll have to help me. I'm not feeling good. Okay, I'm kind of sliding in. Find the area of a triangle. Guys, who tried to, no, I don't even want to know that. Who wrote the formula down for me? That's what I need to know. You should have, if it's talking about area of a triangle, area of a square, area, volume. I want to see a formula. Write the formula in right now. So we're going to go 1/2 times 9x minus 1 times 4x plus 2. Anything? Did you write the formula down? Oh. And follow the formula. Follow the formula. That's all you got to do. So 1/2. Let's go ahead and multiply that. So it'll be what? 36x squared. And at 14x. Just 18x minus 4x. And then minus 2. Now we got to take half of every term. So 18x squared plus 7x minus 1. Now, how hard was that? Not hard at all. Easy. Okay, number 10. Y'all are corrected this, huh? If it's not corrected. Some people got it corrected. So 5a cubed plus 50 minus 8a cubed plus 24a squared minus 4a. Now we need to combine like terms. Oh, a squared. Thank you. Okay, I knew something didn't look right. Okay, so we've got 5a. Oh, that is a squared. Okay, read my own writing. Okay, so that's going to be what? Minus 3a cubed. What? Plus 74a squared minus 4a. Okay. Number 11. We're going to simplify that. Guys, I'm going to do that second step that some of you need to start doing. X, y to the negative 2. So then I'm going to put 2, hang on, x, and then y squared down here. Okay, we'll finish when we come back. What's negative 15 divided by 3? And then some of you said this canceled out. It's going to be what? A to the 12th. A to the 12th and then B to the 3rd. And then that's all you do. Sometimes the second step is your answer. Okay? This is what some of y'all messed up and put negative 5 minus 1 you said was negative 4. It's what? Negative 6. That does cancel out, and it's what? Negative 7. So it's going to be 1 over x to the 6th, z to the 7th. Okay, what? Oh, you missed it. I just looked at that. Guys, that's just negative 5. That when the exponent is negative is when it goes downstairs. Negative 5 is not an exponent. That's the answer right there. You don't move it's when the exponent's like that right there is negative exponent. It goes downstairs. The 3 goes downstairs because it's 2/3. Okay, number 14. Area of a rectangle, base times height, or length times width. So if the base is of the area is 32, I really wish you guys would have, I know it seems really simple, but I wish you'd have written the formula and followed it. Some of you didn't do that. So that's going to give you 4x to the 3rd y. Okay, put that in graded papers. We've been needing to do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to check that page 255. What'd you get for 12? Okay, well let's see what we missed. Okay, so you're going to go 1/3, 3.14. Okay, the radius is 3/4. I use 0.75 squared. Times 3. Now, 1/3 of 3 is 1. So that cancels that out because 1 times anything is the other number. If you do 3/4 there, remember you got to put it in parentheses. Yeah, it's going to be 1.8 inches cubed. Okay. All right. What'd you get for 16? Did everybody get 4 inches? Okay. On number 17, what'd you get for the height? And then 18. Okay, so you had to get, how much greater is the volume? So you subtracted. You got both of them, and you subtracted, and so what was the answer again? Yeah. Okay. We good? All right. I tell you what, on the back of this, I want to do a couple things that I realized. Katie and Avery got these right on the quiz. Okay, let me find them. Find a good one. Excuse me. I thought I'd just open it up and there'd be a good one. It's not. Well, okay, let's just start with this. This is not the one I need time to think of one. Okay, write this in. Okay, the directions for this say to factor it. What are you going to do first? Anytime it says factor, what should be running through your mind? When it says factor, what should be going through your mind? Look and see if there's something that I can factor out of there, right? Is there? So what? 3x squared plus 11x minus 4. They're good. Now, you still have a trinomial there, but it's going to be easier to factor into a binomial. Okay? Now, you can do what? The big box? Y'all want to go do the big box? Who can do it without a big box right now? You know how to do it. Well, you go, and we're going to go do the big box, those that want to. Okay? So, 3x squared so who remembers what goes here? Yeah, so what? X squared. Okay. So we got to figure what times what gives us negative 12, but we're going to get 11. So one's got to be positive, one's got to be negative to multiply to get a negative. Two negatives make a positive, so we can't do that. So, pretty easy. Difference, what? 12 and 1, huh? So, which is going to be positive? 12. Okay. Now, we need to get the greatest common factor of 3 and 12, which is 3x. 3x times what gives me 12x? 4 plus 4. And that's going to give x, right? And then minus 1. So we've got 3x minus 1, x plus 4. You that didn't do the big box, y'all got it? Good. Who did the big box with me? Okay, that's fine. To me, the big box is easy. I mean, I can do it without it, but on the harder ones, it does come in handy. And some of y'all are real quick at it, so it's fine. It's not going to hurt, is it? Okay, but what some of you are not doing is factoring that out. You got to factor out first. You got to look for that. That's the first thing you need to look for. Okay. Let me think real quick. Okay, I'm recording right now, so I'll send it down there. Is she? You just sent it to the office, but I'll get it. I was thinking something different. Okay, right, x squared equals 4x. Okay, now this is to solve. So if I'm solving, and remember when it's a quadratic, it's got that square in there, that changes the whole ball game. What do we need to make that equal to? 0. And a lot of you knew it had to equal 0, but that's where you got stuck. That's where you got stuck. So, who knows what you're going to do now? Right? There you go. You can factor the x out. So what do you get? Well, yeah, you got to factor that out first, the x out. Now what? You're not done. No, we don't need a big box. Look, the only time you use a big box, guys, is when you have a trinomial that you're trying to factor into binomials. That's a monomial times a binomial. We're done. We're at the good part. X equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. So x is 0 or x is 4. Y'all tried to do some crazy stuff on this. Ooh. Crazy. The only time you do a big box, guys, is when you have a trinomial that you're trying to factor into binomials. The only time you use a big box. Right there, you're solving. You've got a monomial times a binomial. You're good to go. So one of those has to equal 0. Okay, that's what we had trouble with. Okay, I know. That's what we got to work on. And that's what I'm going to spend probably a week on before you're taking the test. It's giving you different kinds of situations and let's going over, okay, what are you doing here? And it'll help when we do our spiral and we're going to make some other foldables and review stuff, and then it really does help. Okay, so, but that's the main thing. When it says solve, you're trying to find what x or y or a equals. You're trying to find the solution for it. If it's got a quadratic in it, then you know you're going to probably have 2 answers. Okay? There's other situations there. Okay, so if I have x minus 3 times 2x plus 4 equals 0, and it says to solve, what am I doing? X minus 3 equals 0, or 2x plus 4 equals 0. They've already factored it into binomials for me. They've been nice. So I just solve x is 3, or yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Now, is it better? Trying to cover everything. All right. I think I have just about. Okay. Now, on that page 103, did anybody get it finished? Put that in practice. Oh, we're not going to have time to do the algebra builder. I'm going to leave it up there because I'm going to do it tomorrow. Since I went over those, I'm not doing those side of things. That builder, this one, remember that was within more months. We're going to do that tomorrow, okay? Okay, so let's look at this. It says to factor each polynomial. 2 weeks and 2 days, and we'll be through it. Well, actually, shorter than that. About 2 weeks for y'all. No more 8th grade stuff. Okay. It says fact, then we can just concentrate on algebra now. It'd be so much nicer for y'all. After spring break, it's just be all algebra. I love it when we get to that point. Okay, look at number 1. It says factor each polynomial. Who sees a problem? There's nothing to factor, is there? You look here and you look here. Nothing to factor. That's when your brain has to go, well, let me look deeper into it. Look at it carefully. You can factor this. Well, yeah, you can always take 1 out, but that's not what they want. Do you see that 81 is a perfect square? That's why I've been harping on perfect squares so much. Perfect squares. X squared is a perfect square. 81's a perfect square. So what are you thinking? What happened when we got rid of the middle term? There you go. 1 was plus, 1 was minus. And we eliminated the middle term. So what's going to go here? X, what's going to go here? 9. So when it says to factor and it's a binomial, if there's nothing you can factor out of there, you have to look deeper and say, well, are both terms perfect squares? So look at 2. Is that a perfect square? 100? And m squared is. So it's going to be m plus 10, m minus 10. That's all it is. And you can put the minus first. I just usually put the plus first just because. Okay, on number 3, what's it going to be? Isn't it 4n? Plus 5 minus 5. Okay. Look down at 8. Look down at 8. Are 72 and 50 perfect squares? No, but can I factor something out of them? What about 2? Can I do 2? So let's do 2. So this is going to be what? P squared minus. Now what happened? When we factored the 2 out, then you ended up with 2 perfect squares. So your goal is to get 2 perfect squares there. That's what your goal is. Okay? So now all we have to do is go 6p plus 5 minus 5. Okay? Look at number 9. Is there something I can factor out of there? First of all, who wants to turn that around? I want to turn it around. What can we factor out? 2. So it'll be x squared minus. Is 1 a perfect square? Yep. Yep. So x plus 1. And you can test it if you want to, but it works. God bless you. Huh? Oh, did I? No. You can't put plus on both. Yeah. Okay. I was just about to go over that. Guys, this is called a difference of 2 squares. A difference of 2 perfect squares. It only works when you're subtracting. So if it was an adding there, see, it wouldn't eliminate the middle term if that was a plus there. Both had a plus. Okay? So everybody look at number 11. Let's leave 11 alone because of that negative sign. Because if we turned it, it'd be negative first. What can I factor out of that? So it's going to be 1 minus 9a squared. Okay? So so what's going to go here? 1 minus 3a and 1 plus 3a. Okay, let's stop just a minute. Why are we, okay, I like, if somebody's teaching me something on the computer, I like to know why I'm doing certain thing. Then I understand. Why are we even fooling with trying to factor these out? What are we going to do with this when we factor it out? Look on the back page. what are we going to do when we're solving them? When we're having to solve. So we're getting ready. Are they going to ask you to probably factor something like this? No. They're not going to say factor. You're going to have to solve. So you have to know how to factor before you can solve these. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, look at number 12. What are we going to factor out of there? Yeah. No. Will A go into 200 evenly? Okay. So if we factor 8 out, okay, let's factor 8 out and then we'll go over the 2, because that would have worked too. Okay, 8, so it'll be y squared minus 25. And look, you see, when you see a binomial, that's one thing we got to look for. I see a binomial, it's subtraction, both are perfect squares. I know I can factor it further. So it's going to be what? Y plus 5. Okay, let's talk about if we'd have done the 2. Because that would have worked. I mean, you could factor 2 out. What are you going to get? 4y squared minus 100. And look, both of those are perfect squares. You see? The problem is, okay, the problem is that's not as simplified as it can go. Do you see? Because 2 can go both into those. So you have to get the greatest common factor out. Look at 13. What do you see? How about 4 in x? How about 4 in x? Yeah, well, 4x. Yeah, 4x. So it'll be what? X squared minus 25. And guys, you need to leave the 4x there, because then when you're solving 4x equals 0, then x could possibly equal 0, and you might have 3 solutions. So it'll be x plus 5, x minus 5. Okay, let's try to do the rest of the page by ourselves. If we can. If you need help, you know what to do. True?